The Palmer raids refer to an episode of what one commentator referred to as a deportation delirium. It arose out of a time in which there was great fear in the country over anarchism and anarchists and foreign anarchists. There had been a number of high-profile bombings. There were bombs that were sent through the mail to a number of famous political figures. A bomb actually exploded near the home of the Attorney General. So there was a lot of fear. And the Attorney General at the time, who was a man named Mitchell Palmer, said that he was getting enormous pressure to do something about this. And what he decided to do, together with a number of young deportation agents, one of whom was named J. Edgar Hoover, was to focus on anarchists and communists or Bolsheviks or even people who were affiliated with those groups. And so there were raids all around the country. In particular in New York there were some very large raids, and some of them were quite brutal. All of them were based on ideological grounds. There were a lot of questions about whether the rule of law, even as it existed at the time, was being complied with. People were often rounded up in the middle of the night. They were deported quickly. The evidence that was used against them, looked at with hindsight, was very problematic. And yet many hundreds of people were deported back to Russia, to Europe, to various other places, purely because of their ideological affiliations. We're not talking about people who had been convicted of any crimes or who had been shown to have been involved in the bombings at all. I mean, the government was very proud of this, actually, at the time. J. Edgar Hoover went to the dock at 4 a.m. to wave goodbye to Emma Goldman and other anarchists who were being deported. History has not looked kindly upon that episode, and even at the time there were a number of prominent academics, including Felix Frankfurter, among other people, who had written strongly against what was going on. So there was a strong sense in that episode, as there had been in the Alien and Sedition Acts, that what was at stake was our conception of the rule of law, and what did we mean by fairness, and what sorts of constitutional rights ought we give even to aliens who may have ideologies that we disagree with. So I think the reaction to that episode, looking back on it, was a strong development of a civil liberties idea and a strong development of an idea in certain parts of the legal establishment of the importance of protecting the rights of non-citizens as well as citizens.